Hi, my name is Mary Udia from Power Networking Forum, and this is my podcast, Empowerment Series with Mary. The show is about empowerment, networking, highlighting people doing good in their communities and paying it forward. Join me every Tuesday, and please like, subscribe, and share. Let's get started. All right, welcome to another episode of Empowerment Series with Mary. Our topic today is how to unleash your inner queen or king. And my special guest today is Cynthia Bowers-Martins.
Hi.
Welcome, Cynthia. So,
Hello.
Cynthia is not only an IT girl, right? She's a super advocate for the STEM program, science, technology, engineering, and what is the last one?
Well, I have I put STEAM, so
Okay.
it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
And math. Okay, exactly.
Yeah.
So she is a huge advocate for that. An international selling author of the children's book, I Don't Like Me, I Love Me. How about that title? I love it. We're going to get into that here shortly. Outside of working in a technology field, Cynthia also helps businesses in Europe automate their manual processes. And recently, she was the United States
Mrs. Ohio.
United States of America, Mrs. Ohio. She's a wife and a mother who enjoys caretaking of her mom, speaking at schools, conferences, events, and volunteering in the community. And this day and this week couldn't have been a better day to feature Cynthia. As you all know, we are celebrating the Martin Luther King birthday, who has the famous saying, everybody can be great because everybody can serve. That is Martin Luther King. So, Cynthia, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited. And I have to put my married name on there because if my husband hears this podcast and he says, wait a minute, you're not Cynthia Bowers anymore. You're Cynthia Bowers-Martins.
Cynthia Bowers-Martins. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I know I totally agree with that. Cynthia, so let's get into it. You've done so much. You have so much going on that I want to get into having you share your advice and nuggets of how you got to do all these things with my audience, because we have to empower each other and encourage each other so that we can keep doing our best and keep unleashing that inner queen and inner king, right?
That's right.
So, my first question is, how did you get started in a beauty pageant coming from an IT background?
I get that question a lot. And when I was a little girl, I was watching television and I saw Vanessa Williams. I'm not sure if your viewers know who she is, but today she's an actress, she's a model, she's a philanthropist, and she was in a beauty pageant long time ago. And she was one of the first Black women to win the pageant that she was in, which was Miss America. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like amazing. So to be able to see her, someone who has a skin color that, is sort of like mine and whose hair was sort of like mine, it just opened up so many opportunities in my young mind. I had to only be maybe like around 6 or 7 years old.
Wow.
And when I saw her, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be a beauty queen. But long and behold, my parents, they were like, no, you're going to go to school and you're going to graduate and then you're going to get a job is what you're going to do. We don't have time for no beauty queens.
Yes.
So I listened, to my parents and I was like, okay, I'm going to, go to school. I'm going to go to college. But as soon as I graduate college, I'm going to be a beauty queen. And that's exactly what I did. That's exactly what I did.
Exactly. You were unleashing your inner queen, right?
That's right. Yeah. I entered my first pageant after graduating from Kentucky State University. And I guess you can say the rest is history. I won the first one. And then I just kept trucking along and, won some, I lost some, but I just kept moving forward. And so many doors began to open, from one title to the next. And here I am today, just finishing off my title as United States of America's Mrs. Ohio 2020. And it was an amazing journey. It was an
Wow.
amazing journey.
So tell me, so in that role, what did you have to do as, having that title? What activities, what did you do to support the community?
Yes.
What was the
So
benefits of you being, winning that pageant and having the title?
So my platform is, helping kids. I started off a long time ago, even before beauty pageants. I was already volunteering in the community and helping young girls with low self-esteem. When I started to compete, I said, you know what? I want to take this local community service that I'm doing. I want to take it statewide, and I want to make it like a national campaign. And participating in a beauty pageant actually allows you to do that. It actually allows you to declare your platform, and then you can advocate for that platform. And you can also pull in businesses, organizations, for-profit, nonprofit organizations. And you kind of have like this community of people who rally and get behind you and support you to take your platform to another level. So I did a lot of volunteer work in schools, advocating for those students who have low self-esteem and who hide it very well, because that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I was able to talk with the teachers, counselors, principals, administrators. It was enlightening. I didn't even realize that the issue with low self-esteem, not only in girls, but in boys, is so prevalent. It's huge.
Exactly.
So outside of community service, I've done TV, other podcast show interviews. I've been in magazines. So many doors have opened, and so many people wanted to be a part of this movement that I call Unleash the Queen and Unleash the King. That we helped so many kids, and that was my big thing, and that was my platform, and so I lived it out.
Exactly. Yeah, like you said, especially with the technology, kids on your phones,
Yep,
people sitting behind a
exactly.
computer and typing, you know,
Yes,
having to be in front of them and helping them realize that there's more to them than always on the phone, where they hide from,
exactly.
exactly, where they hide from showing their true feelings as to, so it becomes difficult to know whether they
It
have
does.
low
It does.
self-esteem or they don't because, they hide behind the electronics. So I'm really glad that your
Yeah.
platform got to work with them, in schools, I'm sure probably even churches, to help
Yes.
them,
Yep.
unleash their inner self. Know that there's more to that than being behind the screen. There's more to them, to their personalities, to things they can get
Exactly.
done and achieve and accomplished than just
Exactly.
playing on the phone with, some games or just hiding from friends, not making that relationship connections
So
with
true.
other kids. So definitely appreciate what you're doing there to
Thank
help
you.
make sure that our kids stay connected. And
That's
with
right.
that,
That's right.
that brings me to the next question, which I'm sure with that work that you did, that led you to writing the book, right?
Yeah.
So
So,
tell me how, during COVID-19, taking care of your sick mother, you found the time to write a book that the title alone, even if you don't read the whole book, the title alone is an empowering title. So speak to me about that.
yeah, it's really interesting how the title came about. But when I was a young girl suffering with low self-esteem, I hid it very well. So nobody really even knew. And then I carried that, that mindset, that low self-esteem mindset of not being good enough, not loving myself. I carried that with me into my young adult, hood. And so, but it really started to show more as I got older because I really couldn't hide it as well. But a lot of kids now, they tend to, like you said, they hide behind the screens. There's a lot more technology now than we didn't have, when I was growing up.
Exactly.
And so I used to keep a diary when I was little. I would always write in this diary. And so all of this low self-esteem for myself stems from being adopted. And so, not knowing who my birth mother was, not knowing who my birth father was, and, not feeling good enough and wondering, why they gave me away. And I had all of these questions going through my mind, which is what a lot of kids deal with today. And then we don't talk about it.
Exactly.
They don't talk about it. So we kind of hide it and push it under the table or under the rug. And so, I said, when I get older, I'm going to take this diary that I was writing in almost every day, writing all my feelings down, how I felt and stuff. I said, I'm going to take this and one day I'm going to write a book. And so, I said that as a child, but I never really thought, I got older and never really thought about it again until COVID hit. Soon as COVID hit, I'm like, I need to write that book. and so, I'm like, okay, my platform, is helping kids in the communities with low self-esteem. Now it's time to write that book that I said I was going to write when I was a child. And so during COVID, I wrote that book, and I call it my baby. Yes. I would say it took me about 9 months total for the writing, the editing, and the graphics to be done, and then the publishing. And, it's been an amazing journey, but, I kept that promise to myself and, was able to manage my time a little bit between work and, taking care of my mom. It was not easy by a long shot. However, if you have a goal and you want to stick to that goal, you have to make sacrifices. And so, that's what I did. I mean, we were on shutdown anyway, so it kind of helped a little bit.
Yes,
we couldn't really go anywhere.
That is the truth. If you want to achieve something, you have to work hard at it. Absolutely.
Exactly. And so I said, okay, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to finish this process. There were times where I did want to give up, especially when I had to go back and forth with the editor or the graphics person. It's like, okay, wait, no, that's not what I want. So it was hard and I wanted to give up, but I remembered that promise. And
Absolutely.
So here we are today.
Awesome. I mean, the title, like I said, the title alone is what got me. I'm like, wow.
You know what's funny about the title is I didn't even have a title when I started writing the book.
Yeah.
The title came to me. I was talking with I think it was a principal at a school, and she said, "So you're writing a book for children?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "What's the title?" And immediately God spoke to me and said, "I don't like me, I love me." And that's how it came about.
Wow. Isn't that a testimony? Wow. Thank you for that. So that brings me to the next question. How can educators, parents, leaders in the community, how can they leverage this book to help, children that they take care of or students in their care?
Yeah, so the number one thing that I've seen, I've talked to over 1,000 kids over the past year with my platform for the pageant, and the number one thing that I heard and I saw and I spoke to kids about, and even teachers and parents, is that from a parent perspective, if you were to buy the book for your child, there is an area in the book where Louise, she's the main character in the book, she has this dream and she's so excited about this dream. And, it reminds me of the I Have a Dream speech by Martin Luther King Jr.
Absolutely.
And so that's what I want to encourage parents. Even when your young children have dreams, talk to them about those dreams, because you're planting a seed very early on, and you want that seed to be carried out. And so what I was hearing from a lot of the students is, I have some dreams, I have some goals, some things that I want to do, but nobody believes me. Nobody encourages me. People tell me that it's not possible. So if I had to leave a nugget with the parents, it would be, take your kids seriously. They may have 3 different dreams, and that's okay.
Yes.
It's our job to help, them narrow down what's going to be best for them. But in the book, Louise tells her mom the dream she had, and Louise's mom is so excited and is like, "Tell me about the dream. I want to hear more." So for parents, get excited when your kids talk to you about their dreams. and and get on board, and encourage them to live those dreams out. And then from an educator perspective, I would say definitely ask your students every day, what do you want to be when you grow up? Have you thought about what you want to be when you grow up? Keep that dialogue open, and so they can start coming up with different ideas. Again, it may change from day to day, but that's okay. It's up to us as leaders in our community to plant the seed and open up the doors of communication, so then we can help guide our kids on the right path.
Absolutely. Thank you for that advice. Yeah, so I'm going to segue a little bit. I know, the book is for kids, right? But
Yes.
knowing the environment we are today, communication is very challenging, right?
Yes.
People are using technology,
Yes.
hiding behind the computer and being very, what I will say, mean, to
It
other
happens.
people.
Bullying.
So how do we, unleash that communication where not just for kids, us as an adult, how can we leverage some of the tips you have in this book for even in our workplaces, even within the family, husband and wife, what are some of those things that, how can you correlate this to some of that? Because we want to empower everyone, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Empowerment is about everyone, not just for children. I'm actually in the process of writing my next book, which is actually for educators.
Okay.
But yeah, bullying or belittling, I like to call it, it has many different faces. And like you said, it can happen online. It can happen in your home, between a husband and wife, and even between siblings. It can also happen between a parent and a child relationship that a lot of people don't know about and don't talk about. It definitely happens in the workplace more than what people probably say. Nobody wants to be on the recipient of being bullied. So a lot of times people don't talk about it, but I would say if you're in a workplace environment, you definitely need to talk about it. You definitely need to go to your superior, that supervisor or that manager. And it's not about, ratting on somebody or, being a tattleteller.
Yes.
It's about what's right, and it's about your safety and you being comfortable going to work. So I would say definitely, go to HR if you have to, and make sure, something is being done. I was actually bullied before in my workplace at a prior company, and I had to, eat my own words, so to speak, and listen to myself. And I had to go to HR, to get it handled.
Yes.
If you're in a home environment, I would say definitely, if it's, somebody you can't really talk to, or if it's a parent, kind of doing the bullying, or a sibling, then I would say, if you're a child, find someone you trust, someone at, a teacher or an administrator at the school, a cousin, someone outside of the home who you feel comfortable with talking to about this. But you definitely, you have to find someone, because if you don't, you're going to tend to feel isolated. And then those feelings will internalize, and then other things could, matriculate outside of that. So definitely, I would tell anybody to find a friend or a loved one that you respect and that you trust, to talk about, some of these feelings or some of these experiences that you're having. That way, you're able to get the help that you need. And then you'll know that you'll find that you're not alone, especially in social media. There's so much bullying going on in social media. It is just insane.
Yeah.
Now, in different social media platforms, I think most of them, I believe, have a place, a button or something you can click on, or you can send an email, or you can get in touch with, the organizational leadership, and, and you can report it. So definitely find a way to report what you're experiencing, and, don't let the person get away with it, because then they're just going to find someone else, to bully. They need to be held accountable.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that nugget. That's so important that we all have to do that. And you also have this concept about how to increase your confidence to walk and talk and shine bright like a star. Can you speak to me about that? I love that.
So when I go to the schools, I call myself the child whisperer. There was this show out a long time ago. I'm not even sure if it's still on, but it was called The Dog Whisperer.
Yeah.
And this guy, he had this special relationship with animals, in particular dogs. And so he was able to kind of like speak this dog language and, kind of understand them a lot better than most people. And I find myself, having that ability or having that gift with children. And so a lot of times I'm able to, speak their language. I'm corporate when it's time to be corporate, but when it's time
Yes.
to deal with a child and something that they're going through, they trust me very, very quickly because I'm able to kind of be transparent with them. So a lot of times they'll see the crown, they'll see my sash, and they'll think, oh, well, she doesn't understand me. She doesn't understand what I'm going through. But when I share my story, which is what I encourage, leaders to do, share your story with kids. Let them know that, you mess up too, you make mistakes too. Then you can build that trust and they'll trust you a lot faster. And so when I go in and I talk to kids about unleashing, the queen and the king in you and, how to shine bright and walk and talk like the king or the queen that you are, it's about finding that inner peace that I know is in there. A lot of kids just sometimes are afraid to let it show. Sometimes they don't know how to bring it out. So I encourage them with words of affirmation. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am mighty. And then I also, a lot of times, depending on the school, they may not want you to talk about God, but God lives in me. So the only thing I know how to do is talk about him. So I encourage kids that God loves them no matter what they do. God loves them and God wants the best for them. And so if we can live out our days, just doing, what God wants us to do and helping other people, giving back to other people, whether it be kids or adults, I think that's going to help, people to find that inner light on the inside.
Yes.
And then it's going to start to shine bright on the outside. But they have to know it's in there, first of all, that they're special and that they're unique.
Perfect. Thank you for that. And then I'm going to wrap this segment with one of the other topics that, you have about how to let off steam using
yes.
Yeah, the A arts. So what is that?
Yeah.
I want to know what is that.
So how to let off steam using STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. I know some states the A means agriculture, but I'm so big in the arts. And what I was afraid to do as a child because of low self-esteem, I'm now finding myself living out the arts as an adult. So beauty pageants are a part of quote unquote entertainment. People will watch beauty pageants on television. They'll watch them in person because they want to be entertained. They want to see who's going to trip and fall. they want to see, who's going to stumble on the question.
Exactly.
The interview on stage question. And so when I'm talking to kids about releasing that steam, all of us have steam. We all have something inside of us that kind of makes us mad, that kind of like ticks us off. And we just want to let it out, whether it's throw a pillow, have a pillow fight, use a punching bag, but you have to let out the steam some kind of way. So how I'm able to tap into the arts in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, is I find that one thing in a child that they're passionate about. I find that one thing that, they don't really tell anybody. Maybe they're a singer, but they don't really like to sing in front of other people. Yeah. Maybe they're an artist, but they don't really like to show that art in front of other people.
Absolutely.
So I find that one thing that I know that they have on the inside of them, and I pull it out of them, and then I blow it up, and I make it so huge for them that they have no choice but to participate because it excites them. It gets them going. Now, when they get angry, now when they get mad, if they like to draw, go draw. Don't pick a fight with someone at school. Get out your notepad, get a pen, start to draw. If you write poetry, get out your notebook. Don't pick a fight. Don't talk back to mom or dad. Get out your notebook and write some poetry. Tap into the arts portion of STEAM by letting off steam.
Awesome. That is amazing. Thank you so much, Cynthia. The next segment I'm gonna go to is just a few rapid questions. They have nothing to
Okay.
do with the topic we just covered.
Okay.
They're just random questions, just to get answers from you. So,
That's fine. Yeah.
first
Let's
one
do it.
is, if animals could talk, which animal would be the rudest?
Oh my God. That is a good one. And you know what? It is so funny. I actually would say, I would say parrots. You know, we had a parrot when I was a kid,
Oh,
and,
really?
and that parrot was so rude. Oh my goodness. It was just say random things, like things I didn't even think about that would be in its vocabulary. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I never would have thought the parrot not only would repeat you, but then would just say rude things to you.
Do you? Okay, good. And then the next one is, what is your spirit animal?
Oh, my spirit animal is definitely like a tiger. And that's, it's in the tiger, the lion family. And that's what that's where I get this unleashed, because for so long, I was closed off and I had all these things bottled up on the inside of me until one day I said, you know what? It's time to just unleash it all.
Good. Awesome. And then the third one is, if you could be a fly on the wall to listen to anyone speak, who would that be?
If I could be a fly on the wall,
Yes.
oh, I would definitely want to be in the White House. I want to know what kind of policies that they're path where they're making and passing. I want to know, what they're talking about as far as legislation and how it affects our kids and education. So I would definitely want to be in the White House during those super confidential meetings.
That's cool. And then the last one is, if you could be a fictional character, who will it be?
Oh, a fictional character. I would say Pocahontas.
Oh,
And it's so funny because, when I would go to the schools, and if I'm, in crown and sash and I have like this gown on, the little kids would call me Poca. They would call me Pocahontas. So,
really?
it's like, it would be pretty cool to be, her as a fictional character.
Oh, awesome. Wow. Thank you so much, Cynthia. This has been great. Thank you for sharing
You're
all of
welcome.
your nuggets that you've had in a book, still up in your head. I'm sure we're going to see more coming from you, like you said, right, in
Yes.
the adult book. It was a pleasure for you to join me
Thank
today
you.
and
Pleasure was
share.
all mine.
Yeah, no, it was a great pleasure. Love having you, and look forward to having you back when you have that second book out.
Yes,
So
most
we can
most
talk about that,
definitely.
because the
Yes.
adult stuff gets very deep, right?
Oh, yes, it does.
So I can't wait, and I look forward to doing that. It's been great having you
Thank
on
you.
Empowerment Series with Mary, and thank you for
Thank
taking the
you.
time.
I loved it. Thank you so much, Mary. God bless you and all of your viewers.
Thank you.